General about developing nations and the policies necessary, do you see Bangladesh putting in place the right policies for a diversified trade agenda?
Thank you, Richard. Nice to see you in Dhaka. You mentioned you were in Geneva last year.
I was.
I think it's absolutely right for the Bangladesh to make a decision to graduate from the LDC category.
Just pause 1 second, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a distinguished panel who are talking about important things concerning the economy of this country and its future. I request and require your silence whilst they do so. If anyone has a problem with that, then they may leave the room and continue their conversation outside. But otherwise, shut up!
So Richard, going to your question, the relationship between graduation of LDC and diversification of trade is that after the preferential treatment on textile, clothing, the entrepreneurs of Bangladesh have to find new ways for development. We would like to provide a smooth transition, but it's up to the entrepreneurs to seek the market opportunities. Several years ago, no one believed Bangladesh can develop a pharmaceutical industry, but now it's rising and it provides affordable drugs to the neighboring countries. So this is an opportunity.
If they've got the entrepreneurs, and this room is absolutely stuffed of entrepreneurs, the entrepreneurs and this room with people, and they've got a government MGs to the farmers. What are you finding?
Thank you, Richard. So first, we are not only shipping, we are shipping and logistics at CMA CGM. So we cover the end-to-end. And we are extremely committed to Bangladesh. So first, let me start by saying that actually what we have said this morning, the growth of Bangladesh, we have seen it. Okay, we have seen it even, give you a perspective, we have grown about 70% import and 50% export in the past 4 years. And we are extremely committed to continue to grow. In Bangladesh, and actually doing business, but also reduce our costs and ensure that we deliver in a seamless way to the customer. So it's extremely important that there is better connectivity between the various stakeholders of the supply chain.
But what about the provision of mega infrastructure, ports necessary to bring the biggest ships in to carry more stuff?
Sure. So today we have limitation. Indeed, you're right that we operate 3 weekly services, typically from Asia going to Bangladesh. We have limited by the size of the ship that we can bring, and it's why we see with a lot of opportunity and a lot of enthusiasm the arrival of the new terminal Deep Sea in 2026, where we'll be able to bring bigger ships. Bigger ships mean more efficiency and more capability to serve the customer. So yes, that will help to continue to deliver, to grow the business out of Bangladesh and to Bangladesh.
You need deeper ports.
We need deep ports.
So we have already started the deep sea port in Matabari, which will come into production, will be operational in 2026. We are also increasing the capacity of the Chittagong port, and the Mangla port, and also the Paira port. So we are, on infrastructure, we are doing a lot of work. And actually, everybody is very surprised that without having a deep sea port, Bangladesh has been able to reach such a stage. So when our deep sea port becomes operational, it will be a real game changer for us. And that's going to happen in 2026.
Do you have any reservations about the financing of these extremely large projects? Where the money comes from, which country may provide it?
No, the government is dealing with all the countries. So the Matabari is being financed by Japan. We are talking to Singapore, we are talking to Saudi Arabia, we are talking to UAE, to all the big port companies. We are in fact going to hand over private management of the Chittagong port to private operators. And in fact, today we are signing one agreement with Saudi Arabia.
So how do you avoid the Sri Lanka problem? How do you avoid the Sri Lanka problem with external investment but maintaining the ownership or the operational ability of the facilities?
No, the Rohingya problem is a problem, but the Rohingyas are not, they are in Cox's Bazar, which isn't a port, and we are trying to move them. You're talking about the Rohingyas.
Sorry?
No, sorry, what
No, what I mean is, I'm talking about when a country invests heavily into your country and thereby owns the ports or the resources.
No, we are giving them concessions. We are not giving them ownership of the port. We are just giving them concessions to operate the ports. And when we are negotiating, that's why we are not giving it to one country. We are diversifying between many countries.
Mr. President, your members, what do you want from the government? What do your members, your companies, what do you want the government to do? Now, forget the fact that you know them all. Forget the fact that they are friends. But what would you say you want them to do?
Thank you very much. Actually, what we want for the policy support, we want for the facilitation from the government, and we want for the infrastructure development, for the infrastructure for industrialization, infrastructure for the logistics. What our honorable the advisor already says, there is a couple of the project is under construction, under process, and also we want for the skill development, the development for the human skill, and this kind of things is change our economy, and this kind of things will be the changes, and what we want for the accelerating for $1 trillion journey. So from private sector is leading the main driving seat, because you see the 82% of our GDP is contributing, the 24% is GDP contributing for the private investment, and 82% the business is doing private sector. So private sector is a lead the economy, and we want from the government for the facilitation, policy support, and also what our Prime Minister already tell, cut all the red tape. So the no red tape in future.
Right.
Our business will be our business community here. They will drive our economy.
Your supporters are here. DDG, Ngozi was telling me, we were talking a couple of weeks ago, does the new trend of onshoring and friendshoring as a result of COVID, does that help or hurt Bangladesh?
According to Dr. Ngozi, there's a process of re-globalization. As you mentioned, some countries are moving their supply chain from here to there. It's natural. It's about a national security concern, whatever the problem they have. But I do agree with what Dr. Ngozi said. It's an opportunity for many developing countries and LDCs, including Bangladesh.
Explain.
For example, there are more processing trade, processing manufacture moving from China to Vietnam to Bangladesh. And China can upgrade their industries in the supply chain. At the same time, the neighboring country, including Bangladesh, can benefit from this shift.
Right, so I'm putting these questions to you because you sort of, from the heights of the WTO, you take an independent view. But the shock and the horror that the world felt post-COVID and the destruction of supply chains has led to a shift out of China. Does Bangladesh gain from that?
You are right. Although the globalization provides some opportunity for IDCs, including Bangladesh, but there's still the challenges, the fragmentation, the disruption of the supply chain. That's the point that the WTO needs to address globally, but not bilaterally or regionally.
Laurent, how do you see the trade flows at the moment? Do you see, and this is more of a general, not specific Bangladesh, but do you see a rebuilding of supply chains with a certain resilience?
Yeah, what I can tell you, Richard, is that when we speak with our customer, they all want to have more resilience in their supply chain. So they are all speaking about the China plus one. They are speaking about the term that you have used, friendshoring, nearshoring. I mean, there are a number of. The fact is that they want to diversify. So what we see is indeed in the winner, we see a country in Southeast Asia, and part of the country where we see actually growth is Bangladesh, indeed. And in the nearshoring, you will see some country like Mexico or Poland, and to a certain extent, some of the...
If I was to look at a map, a 6-month map of trade flows pre-pandemic and overlay it with a map of your ships post-pandemic, would it look the same?
It's this kind of change take time. I mean, you don't move a supply chain from one day to another. So it's and it's massive change. To give you an idea, when we look at the network, for example, of a company like CMA-CGM, 65% of our Asia business is out of China. The number 2 country is 7% with Vietnam. So imagine the shift. Even if you move 5% out of China, imagine the impact of a country like Vietnam. So this kind of shift take time, and yes, they are happening, but they will happen over a period of time.
Senior advisor, I understand the accelerating the $1 trillion journey, and I suspect you'll make it. But how do you build a massive digital economy and at the same time improve the state of healthcare? I mean, you have extremely impressive education numbers here. But how do you improve, if you like, the living conditions?
No, very good question. Actually, what the President had said, one of the things he wants from the government is skilled manpower. And what the government is really working, and this answers your question actually, because this is how it improves everything. We are working very, very hard in improving we are upskilling as well as reskilling our workers, and starting with, there is a lot of cooperation now between academia, industry, and the government in our designing our courses in the universities, in the high schools, in the primary schools. We are making coding compulsory in the primary curricula, so that the children, they learn, coding is a language, and
right.
Kids can pick up languages much faster than adults. And we need to do that to face the challenge of the 4th Industrial Revolution, which is coming forward. So answering your question, digitally, that is where the healthcare, the social services, everything nowadays, if you can bring it in online.
Digital's fine, but if it still takes me 2 hours to get 2 kilometers.
Yes, that is because we are in the growing stage. Our infrastructure in place. We have a metro lane in process. The metro is already operational. The elevated expressways are operational. You come back after 5 years, I'll tell you that 2 hours will take you 20 minutes. Give us time to build the infrastructure.
I think he's just thrown down a promise. Before we finish, because luncheon is nearly upon us, I'm going to go rogue here. Anybody got a question in the audience? I'll take 2 questions if you've got one. Can I borrow your microphone, sir? I'll give it you back. 2 questions in the audience. Who was it? Go on. Who are you?
Amish, I'm from CMA-CGM Vellore.
You're from... No. Come on, you can't be nice to your boss. You just want to tell everybody how wonderful...
I'm not going to ask him questions because he knows the answer.
All right, what's your question?
The Minister.
Oh, you ready for this? Oh, God, Lord, I'll get to you in a minute. Yes, go on, quickly.
Honorable Minister.
No speeches. Question.
Question. Bangladesh is growing fast, but like you said, there is a lot of infrastructure problem. What are you doing by the time you fix the bigger infrastructure problem, the small step, which needs to fix the small issues?
Such as?
Such as depots, the terminals which are congested.
Fine. Question first to you.
I couldn't understand the question. The sound is not coming.
What are you doing to fix small things? Never mind the big things, the small things, the depots, the things like that.
Good. It's a good question, and we are doing a lot of work now on to fix the small things. We want, our logistics is a problem. We recognize that problem. And you see, this has to be done in tandem. So we are doing, you can't only fix the small things without fixing the big things. So we are actually creating fixing the big things, and parallelly we are also working on doing a lot of work in the small things. You will see a lot of improvement in the logistics. We do recognize that we have some bureaucratic issues, but those are being addressed.
To those bureaucratic, Mr. President, to those bureaucratic issues, do they get you frustrated, the bureaucracy?
I don't have any frustrating. I am not a frustrated man. Today I am the happiest man because today is the audience is here. You see, you can find out here so many multinational CEOs.
Right.
They are working in Bangladesh and they are the happiest because they are making money. Everyone is
right.
profitable company. Everyone is a profitable. So I am the happiest man today.
Go on, your question.
Yes. My question to you.
Oh. No. Go on.
Welcome to Bangladesh.
Who are you?
This is Preeti Chakraborty, Director FBCCI. My president is in here. Our advisor is in here. So I am their part, little part.
Right.
So you have seen here lots of women
I feel a
entrepreneurs.
speech coming on.
No, women entrepreneurs are in here.
Yep.
And Bangladesh, with the development of Bangladesh, women are coming forward.
Yep.
So what is your view? What is your expectation? And how you will promote the Bangladesh women entrepreneurs in your CNN?
These are valid questions which will be answered on Quest Means Business.
This will be answered by...
No. Next question. Last question. You want to know about women entrepreneurs?
Yes.
We cover them and we will continue to cover them. And one of the reasons I'm here is looking forward to speak to them. There you are. Next question. Last question. Go on. You choose who gets the last question. The lady. Have we got a question here? You get the last question. That'd be good. I'll give you the microphone back.
Thank you. Mikhail Islam, I'm a director of Bengal Group. So we talk about this rapid economic development and progress. However, this is all in terms of the formal economy. And in fact, 80% of our workforce is in the informal economy. So how to actually absorb most of Bangladesh's workforce is still a challenge. So what do we do?
Very good question. Come back and give you the microphone. Let's start with you, Ambassador. The informal economy and the ability to bring in the people from the informal economy.
Richard, I think the most important thing is not infrastructure, it's not finance, it's to change the mindset. To change the mindset for the government and for the business to embrace the technological development, not be afraid. So that's my advice. And the entrepreneurs, you need to encourage your government to be more positive, active in the multilateral rulemaking process.
Sir.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, that's exactly what we are wanting to do. We are wanting to use technology to empower the informal economy. We want to use technology to empower the citizen. We want to, what we have said, we want a smart Bangladesh that is smart citizen, smart society, smart economy, and smart government.
Sir.
Definitely, we want smart economy and smart port on our side. We really are looking forward to the Bangladesh 2040 with the smart port that are going to improve the connectivity between all the stakeholders of the supply chain.
You get the last word. You get the last word on the change that's going to take place in this country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Quest. I'd like to thank the audience and the friends from different countries and Bangladeshi CEOs of multinational company and all of our friends, businessmen. And today here, we came here to accelerate our journey to $1 trillion journey. So we want all of us to join with us the new journey, and we want to go together. So please, we want to work together, and we want to go further. So our ministers is here, and also our honorable Prime Minister today's her speech, she already mentioned the Bangladesh is our Bangladesh. So even the foreign investor, you also think this is your country. We want to work together and we want to grow together. Thank you.
Thank you, and that is our panel. Lunch will be served. I will go and stand and get myself ready to do a selfie or three. If you're having one done, just make sure your camera is on and selfied, and then I'll just grab it and go and keep going, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, many thanks to our distinguished panel. Thank you.
There is an MOU signing ceremony right now. আপনারা সবাই বসুন দয়া করে, আমাদের MOU signing ceremonyর পরে আমাদের পরবর্তী ঘোষণা আসছে। So the Commerce Minister is requested to be on stage for the MOU signing ceremony. Honorable Advisor to the Honorable Prime Minister will be there. FBCCI President will be there on the stage. So quest for Quest is over. We're going for the signing ceremony right now, MOU signing ceremony.
মানুষের জীবন কি গল্পের মতো?
আমার জীবনে আমি যা যা চেয়েছি হয় অর্জন করেছি, না তো ছিনিয়ে এনেছি।
এলাকায় কোনো নতুন সুন্দরী মায়া আসলে তোর লিস্টের মধ্যে অটো আপডেট করে দিবি।
তুই তো একটা পেটতারো, তুই তো একটা প্রেমেন্ট।